Marketing and advertising.
Hey everybody, Tim Schmidt coming at you here, Agency 511. When you've got marketing on your mind 24/7, think Agency 511. And I am joined by Melissa Friedrichs over at Lamar Billboards. And I am just thrilled to have you with us here today. And what we're going to cover for you is billboards, right? And no better person bring in an expert who is an expert in signage and digital signage out there in our public spaces. And so I wanted to go ahead and have you, Melissa, introduce yourself and what your role is and what you're doing in our community of St. Cloud, Central Minnesota.
Thank you. I am so thrilled and honored to be part of this. It's huge for me. I'm Melissa. I'm with Lamar Outdoor. I've been with these guys for 7 years, 7 years in April. And I'm an account executive. There are 5 of us, so I'm one of the 5. And it's just a fun thing to sell. I'm having a blast selling it, even during a pandemic.
Yeah, during a pandemic. And that's kind of really where we're going to kind of go with all of this is things have definitely changed. I mean, there's no question a lot has happened here in the last just few months. But over 7 years, though, right? So you said for 7 years you've been doing this. What have you learned in 7 years in the billboard industry? I mean, from day one when you first started, you're green, you didn't know a whole lot about it. And now today you're, been doing this a long time. And what's really been kind of the big takeaway about digital signage and billboards, and what have you seen? I mean, what's been the big aha for you?
The big aha is that it's continually changing, but yet it's so fun and so creative because it's constantly changing. And there's so much we can do with creative and with digital. Yeah. Because we can do not one ad, we can do 25, we can do 10, we can do 4, we can do 8, and we can do fun things. And the fun thing is that people don't stop driving. Right. People are always driving, even in the pandemic, so it's, unless you're sleeping and not paying attention, people are always driving. So that's the fun part about it. And the other fun part about it is that I can tell you, most likely through Geopath or through, our surveys, is how many people can see my board every week, through statistics and through our companies.
Yeah. So and I'm a big advocate on changing copy. And I think that there's this thing out there called unintentional blindness.
Yes.
Where, anytime there's a brand new board, I don't know if you're like this, maybe it's because you're in the business, but I'm judging billboards all the time. I'm a marketing guy. It's what I do. I'm like, oh, that board is horrible, or why would they put that much text on there, or whatever it might be. Yeah. But do you notice that with your clients, they see a better response when their board is brand new, and then as if that board has stayed the same and in the same place forever?
Yes, exactly. Or that's the fun part about digital is we can change it. If it's up there and you're like, you know what, let's change it up, then we can change it right away. Yeah. Or let's add another thing, or again, it's the creative side of it. Yeah. And that has been the fun part about the digital side of it is we can constantly change it and do the creative piece and the fun things, or, just keep changing it up.
So I'm going to kind of take a step back here too, for anybody who's watching that has no idea what we're talking about, digital billboard versus billboard. You're seeing around St. Cloud that there's some digital billboards, my favorite being right out there on Division. You've got a lot of great digital space. Where you see physically ads rotating through, and some say, well, it's not static, it's not my message all the time, but then you've got your static board, which is a printed on vinyl board. They used to be paper and hung in like a grid, kind of like a cube, and pasted together, and you may still have some of those out there. Do you have any of those out there yet, where they're paper boards?
Yes, we do.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
We do have, and that, that's okay too, because the static boards are good for branding. We've got a lot of our large bulletin boards, which are the great big ones on Highway 15, the 1448s. We've got our poster size boards, which are the popular boards with the silver ring around them, which are the ones that are on Division, as well. And those are good for branding, or all of our realtors and, which we love.
Oh yeah.
Are on those. So those are good for the branding purposes and that kind of thing. You want to get up there and stay up there and then, oh, I'm on there, which is good too. So those are excellent for branding purposes, or for, an event, here's the event, that kind of thing. So those serve its purpose as well. Mm-hmm. But as far as the digital, that's just where it's at.
Well, and kind of going back to that now. So digital, we can switch the copy at any time. It's literally change it, put it in Photoshop, create a board, and within seconds you can submit that, and bang, all of a sudden 15 minutes later it's rotating. So if it's raining outside, you can be like, you need new windshield wipers, stop in at Auto Value, get your windshield wipers. If it's sunny and nice outside, it's like, wait, you need a car wash, get to Mr. Car Wash. Like you can change the copy on the fly based on weather, based on a date, the time of day, and really I mean, even if somebody were to say, I'm going to run a lunch special, from 8 in the morning until 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'm going to switch it up, and now we got to switch to dinner menu. So now I'm going to go dinner from 12 until 5, and then just do a standard branding ad from 5 through midnight or whatever it might be. So I think that being able to day part that is really key. But going back to what I was talking about early on is unintentional blindness tells me that with static boards or something that isn't changed, on a month to every 2 months, you're probably seeing better results because now over time it becomes background, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so that's why probably with a campaign with yourself, is it true then that you put a board up for a couple of months in one location, then move it to another, or kind of how do you recommend the rotation?
With our larger, with the larger bulletins, that's what's called the Rotary program. So that's why we promote it that way, again, for branding purposes. So that's why, because they're more expensive also, so then we print a vinyl for branding purposes, and then we move it around in the various locations. So we make sure it's going to serve its purposes. So what are you guys trying to promote? Is it just the people? Is it a message? Is it a product? So you're getting the most for your money for what you guys are trying to promote. So we move that message around to the various locations, and what do we want to promote for you guys? So we move that around to the various locations and for the various to get them.
So what you're saying is like unintentional blindness can happen if a board is up and it's somewhere for, let's say, 2 months, right? So now by about month 2, you're starting to lose attention to it. You don't see it as much unless it's the one that says something missing. That board, my daughter, every time we would pull up to it, the stoplight or whatever, she'd be like, Dad, my billboard. And she's like 5 years old, sitting in the back seat. She's like, something missing, and she's just getting a kick out of it. So for Medical Arts Dental, there's their plug. I mean, how cool of a board was that? That's my 2019 favorite billboard campaign of all times. Is just that something missing. I thought that was just fantastic. And my kids would talk about it every time. Anyway, so that board might sit in a location and lose its poise. It might lose its ability to sell, or its ability to attract that client. But you're saying that if you move that board, take the same vinyl off of that board and put it across town on Highway 15 somewhere, it's going to gain new traction, correct?
Exactly. That's exactly it. So we move it to obviously the same size board to a different location, because we have those same size boards all over. So we, again, what area do we want to, what traffic do you want to attract, and what market do you want to attract? So we move it to a different location, same size board. And then and it's every 2 months, every 1 or 2 months. And then however much you want to spend, then we move it to that location to attract the different audience.
Yeah, perfect. So I mean, that's the beauty of traditional advertising is that, it is branding. You don't want to change your message too much, because, and if you do change your message, then try to keep the same style, but kind of alternate different messaging within, because the goal of the traditional ad or the goal of a billboard isn't to sell them. I mean, yes, there's going to be some action to it. There is going to be some, form of awareness behind it. But the contemplation phase just can't happen from a billboard. I can't look at a billboard message and go, I'm on the fence if I'm going to go or not go to that business. But because of that billboard, I'm totally convinced that it's the right choice or the right decision. That doesn't happen. However, there might be a call to action where I say, you know what, that's a really unique board. I'm going to jump over to their website and take a look. Now on the website, that's where the contemplation unfolds. That's where, you got to give me the frequently asked questions, the pros and cons of what you're doing, the why message behind what you're trying to accomplish, correct? I mean, is that the goal of the billboard there, Melissa?
Yes, that is the goal. Yeah, the goal is to get your message out there, branding, awareness, name recognition, whatever your goal is, we can accomplish it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And one thing I really like about a traditional billboard as well is that if I see a Facebook ad or I see something digital pop up on my phone, And it's there. I mean, first and foremost, it's only there for literally the fast as I can scroll my finger past it. And if I see sponsored, I usually pay very little attention to it. However, on a billboard, I mean, not just every Joe Schmo can spend $4 and get their, phone on Facebook to show an ad, but on a billboard, it shows establishment. I mean, it's an investment, but it's an established investment. It's not crazy. I mean, it can be a 10% of your marketing budget strategy. It doesn't have to be your all-in approach, but it shows establishment. Would you agree with that?
Very much, very much. And we have, again, figures, your return on investment, you get your return on investment back because of the people that see it. Yeah. And again, the simpler, the better. We can, with the the art and the graphics, you get your message out there and it's seen. It is seen.
So arts and graphics, I mean, how hard is it to get the arts and graphics? Is that something that's expensive for somebody if they're new to billboards, they've never done it before?
No, we include that. That's all included when you do a billboard with us. That is included. Oh. Yeah, that is included. And we have a design team here. And it's as simple as you give us your ideas or your logo, and we take it from there and do something very creative for you. So that's all included. So
wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not included when they're working with me. I mean, I charge $250 a board to create them. So it's not super affordable, but it takes a lot of time. And one of my favorite things, I should say $250 for a series of boards because I create multiple if it's digital. But it's not something that we can take lightly. I mean, you need a strong message, you need a bold image, and something that really stands out and pops. But you also have to understand visibility of the board too. I mean, if the board is partially covered with a tree, you might get a bit of a discount on that one. However, how do you play off of that distraction, right? I mean, you can make that part of your messaging as it's revealed, from the tree moving. Or
well, if there's a tree in the way, we got to get the tree out of the way. So.
Yeah. Well, thanks for clarifying.
If there's a tree, it shouldn't be there unless it depends on what kind of land the tree's on. If it's something we can remove, we will. If we can't remove the tree, then we're going to make the tree part of the message.
Well, good. Well, thanks for clarifying that. I mean, I don't know. I see things all the time and I judge and I go with it. But yeah, that's awesome. So you're not charging anything to design these boards. It's just, hey, if you want some billboards, here's the things, and let's rock and roll. Exactly. And I'm going to throw a midway plug in here. I mean, how does someone get in touch with you, Melissa, if they're looking for billboards, they've never done this before, they want to reach out to you? I mean, certainly they can reach out to me and I'm going to connect them to you, but how do they get in touch with you?
They can give me a call on my cell number, which is 266-6041.
Okay.
Or they can email me, which is Friedrich, and it's Friedrich, it's like Friedrich, @Lamar.com.
Perfect. Awesome.
And I would love to work with you, or hey, just go through Tim at Agency 511 through me, because Tim and I work really well together. Yeah. So we would love to work with you guys and work together together. So that would be great too. So.
Yeah.
Marketing and advertising. Marketing and advertising. Hi, this is Timothy Schmidt, the founder of Agency 511 Marketing and Advertising Company. For the past 17 years, I've been helping companies tell their story through various channels of marketing and advertising. Marketing is multifaceted and complex, but your message should be simple and clear. So when you have marketing and advertising on your mind 24/7, think Agency 511, agency511.com.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with a plan. I mean, that's one thing I can appreciate about you is that you understand that the board isn't the sell all. It's get them to the website and let the website do the contemplation and move them.
Exactly.
And
it's a plan and working together. So, let's all work together and get a marketing plan. You gotta have a marketing plan, Billboards are always part of a marketing plan, I feel, because you gotta have, it's not just the boards, you gotta have a marketing plan.
Yeah, everything kind of goes together hand in hand. And
yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm going to give an example. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show just a recent campaign that I did for Dr. Mark Rourke. So here's a bonus plug for you, Dr. Mark Rourke. Awesome.
Yes.
Advantage Chiropractic.
All right.
Don't mind showing. So we did this, we recently did this strategy with them and in the first part of the plan, so this is a digital sign. So I know that it's lit with lights. So I choose my color palettes very carefully. because I'm working with LED lighting and I know that those colors have to pop. So I'm looking for certain colors that I'm going to make the board stand with and pop with. So here we got some nice yellows that are going to grab attention, but then we've got their faces that are just glowing and they're so excited and happy. And so it shows this really unique message to the audience in the healthcare side that, look, we've got, you know, two very fun, friendly people, very family atmosphere. And there's somebody that I think we can trust because they don't look, you know, like they're going to, like, they just look trustworthy from this type of an image. And then we bring into the next one, like, oh, there are more people behind this family. We're in it together. And so they've been doing this for 24 years. So the second message rotating through is like, okay, we've been doing this for 24 years. We're an established company. We've got billboards going on. That's showing the establishment. And we're here for you when you're ready. And it's nothing too pressing. It's nothing too pushy, but just very bold and very out there.
Yeah.
And then meet Dr. Mark. And we've got two boards that kind of surround this type of a style. First, just being like, we're 1 block away. So here we're using the advantage of the board being close to their location. And we're saying, hey, we're just a block away. So your better health is right here. And using those blues to really pop and the whites because they shine really bright and then bring his face into it really nice and bold.
Yes.
And then we've got meet Dr. Mark. So we really, our strategy here isn't too extravagant, but very simple. Get over to his website, check it out. And then lastly, just this pure branding of the website. It's something that when the sign is lit up, it's lit up beautifully. And the colors stand out, especially at nighttime. This is my nighttime board that comes through, and it's just fantastic, and it just glows, and you can't miss it when you're on the street. So, so that's kind of like how we had set up that traditional type of a campaign. Are you seeing certain things that are working out there like this, or what are you seeing is working really beneficially for people during the time of pandemic, during time of COVID, when traffic is a little bit lower? But people are still moving around, getting outside. It's still summer in Minnesota. What's happening in St. Cloud, Melissa? What clients, you don't have to give specific client examples, but what are you seeing in what industries are working really well?
Industries are construction industries. We're trying to help the restaurants. I mean, we're really trying to help push restaurants.
I've seen a lot of now hiring. Is there something to that?
Now hiring is another good one. It's mainly the industries that were kind of open during the pandemic.
So what you're saying is like really anybody is benefiting from Billboard at this time.
Yeah, anything. Yeah.
Anything.
Anything. And then we were helping the industries that were open, you know, during the pandemic. So we were trying to say, hey, we're still open, you know, during the pandemic. So putting ads up for those people, you know, for some of our clients too, you know, open during the pandemic, give us a call, you know, that kind of thing. Anything we could do to help.
So this is guaranteed traffic. I mean, this is, if you put a message on a board, you're guaranteed to be seen, period. Correct?
Guaranteed, yeah. And our boards too are, I will say, state of the art, you know.
I've noticed something, this is kind of interesting, and then we'll wrap up. I mean, I appreciate you coming out and doing this today, and I didn't want to take a ton of time. And I wanted to keep it really simple, but I've noticed too that at nighttime, driving after midnight, some boards are lit up with the lights and some are not. Is that intentional? Is that something that someone has to purchase, the overnight lighting?
Yes. You have to purchase, I know. Yeah. You have to purchase just because it's incredibly expensive to light the boards, you know, so they shut off at midnight and then they turn back on, you know, after that.
Yeah.
But you have to purchase overnight lighting after that.
Yeah. I've noticed that. I thought that was interesting. I'm like, there has to be something to that because some boards were dark and some were lit up.
Yeah. And then of course, if your board, you know, if your time of your board, if your contract's up, we're not going to light the board. You know, you're not going to have the board lit if your ad is up.
Yeah.
You know,
so what you're saying though is some people, their contract might be up, but their message is still there.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. And we don't have the manpower to get the boards down immediately after your ad is up. So you get the benefit of your ad is still up and
So here's what I'm going to tell everyone who's watching. Put your board up, put it up for a couple months, and then let it expire. Don't renew. Let it sit there for a month. And then as soon as it comes down, then call Melissa back and say, I need to renew. So at least you get that bonus.
Yeah. But we do have that feature up. You can pay extra to have overnight lighting. And it's not, you guys, it's not overly expensive either. I mean, we have some clients that do it, especially in the winter, because that's
Yeah.
when you do want the lights on.
Yeah.
And it's not overly expensive because there are some clients that want the lights on all night because it gets astronomically expensive.
Well, you stand out. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, if you're driving and you're tired at night, you're looking at everything because your eyes are moving. You're trying to stay awake. You're looking,
Exactly.
and also it's really weird at nighttime. We always reflect, right? I mean, most people go to bed, they reflect about their day, they reflect. So we're actually in a state of thinking, and we're in a state of mental awareness of just of ourself and what our needs are and what we're looking for. So at night, I mean, this is why Google searches are really high at night. This is why, because people get curious. And so I think at nighttime too, to light your board, it's definitely worth that addition because you're thinking, you're in a state of awareness. And it's certainly something to be aware of, that your message should be seen during that time, for sure. So yeah, I mean, just thank you for all that you do, Melissa. I appreciate you coming on here today. Is there any parting thoughts about digital or about billboards that you would like to share, whether it be a digital billboard or not? Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I can just share with you guys that I know billboards, I've had the pleasure and honor of working in advertising and marketing for years, and it's a fun thing to sell because again, it's, the numbers show that it works. It's seen, it's right in front of you, it's seen, and it's the return on investment is there. So I think it's worth your money. So
and it's guaranteed impressions. People are driving by, you know that. And when I do a Google ad campaign for someone, it's considered an impression if that digital ad shows up on a website somewhere and it's below the fold, meaning somewhere where you can't see it off screen, but it loaded, that is considered an impression. And on Facebook, it's considered an impression as long as it's seen for 1 second. So, I mean, you can't possibly take impressions for what it is. But a billboard, if there's traffic, there's traffic, and there's always somebody there. So I'm always really impressed by billboards. I think, with the help that they're showing establishment, mix that in with some audio, radio campaigns or direct mail campaigns, you're getting that visual presence and you're getting people to just recognize that, you're still around, you're still open. And in time of COVID, there's businesses that I go, are they still open? Like, I mean, not to be mean, but Chuck E. Cheese, I'm like, how could they possibly be open? I haven't seen anything, but all I saw was a banner in their window saying we're open. I'm like, what? How is that possible? And so like, there's certain businesses that you question, and it'd be great to know that. So they should have a campaign out there, billboard saying, we are open. Here's what we're doing. And here's, get to our website to see our latest and greatest. And that's being kind of extreme only because I have 5 kiddos, but yeah, those are the things that people are thinking about is what's happening, who's still around, who's still open, who can I still go to? And when you're out just going for a bike ride and you see it, or you're out driving, heading to, a birthday party or something, whatever you got going on, it's awareness. So anyway, I'm rambling now. That means I went way too long. So
that's great.
Again, thank you. And
thank you
guys,
so much.
If anybody touch with Melissa Friedrich, just reach out to her, reach out to me. My website obviously below, but agency511.com, and just contact me, send me a text message, just click the button on my website, send me a text. I'm here to help. And what I'm going to offer anybody who is watching, your first digital billboard or regular billboard campaign, I will design up to 2 billboards completely free, being part of the campaign. The rest I'm going to throw on your team over there at Lamar.
Yeah, sounds great.
I'm not going to go that far, but I'll also put together a marketing plan and strategy alongside that billboard campaign at no charge. I've got what's called 3-2-1 Ignite. It's a program where if you've never had your business looked at before by me, I'll meet with you up to 3 times for free for 2 hours at a time for up to 3 months, and completely just strategize with you. So we'll build and put together that strategy that goes with that billboard campaign at no charge. I'm completely confident you'll see results. I'm completely confident in Melissa's ability to help you and her team to design more boards in the future. But it's just a great way to get your name out there, show that sense of establishment. And guys, that's how we do it together. And that's how we build teams. So I'm excited for us. I'm excited for you. And, we'll just continue to keep pushing and spread your message. So thanks guys for watching. Thanks so much for attending. And
take care.
Be in touch. Over and out. Adios.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Marketing and advertising. Marketing and advertising. Hi, this is Timothy Schmidt, the founder of Agency 511 Marketing and Advertising Company. For the past 17 years, I've been helping companies tell their story through various channels of marketing and advertising. Marketing is multifaceted and complex, but your message should be simple and clear. So when you have marketing and advertising on your mind 24/7, think Agency 511, agency511.com.